Good afternoon everyone. Myself Omkar Arun Medankar. I am from TY Civil Engineering. My roll number is 353. I am here to present transport engineering topic about the highways. So here is our first slide, highway maintenance and pavement distress and causes. This is our topic. So let's introduce it. In this presentation, we will explore the various pavement distresses commonly seen on the highways. Here we can also see in the image their underlying causes and classification of maintenance used to address them. Understanding these factors is critical to preserving highways integrity and ensuring the safety and efficiency of our road networks. Proper highway maintenance reduces the cost of reconstruction and extends the pavement lifespan. We will also highlight a critical role of highway drainage in protecting the pavement structures. So the main causes of the distresses are cracks, potholes, rutting, raveling, which will be discussed further in the slide. So now we will look the pavement distresses, that is cracking. Fatigue cracking. There are types of cracking where we can see the fatigue cracking, that is alligator cracking or block longitudinal and transverse cracking. First we'll discuss about the alligator cracking. Alligator cracking looks like the cracks that looks like in the skin of an alligator or small connected cracks in the pattern, which happens because the road gets weak from too much weight over and over. Means repeatedly uh, and continuously the weight passes through the road that develops the cracks. This we can see where the vehicle stop or turn a lot, means the curve areas can develop mostly this type of cracks, that is alligator cracking. Example, imagine jumping on the same spot of a wooden board every day. Over time it will break into many small cracks, just like alligator cracking. Second cracking is block cracking. Block cracking looks like a big square or rectangular cracks on the road surface. This happens because the road material gets harder and brittle over a time because of sun, wind, and other changing temperatures. Uh, this we can see usually in the roads with little traffic or more because of weather than weight. Weather is more responsible in this category. Example, think of dry flamed soil. When it dries out under the sun, it cracks into a big square blocks. This is the perfect example for block cracking. Let's see the third type of cracking, that is longitudinal cracking, which we have mentioned over here. It looks like the cracks that run along the direction of the road, same direction as the vehicle moves. This happens due to the shrinkage or movement in layers under the road or poor construction joints. Here we can understand this with example like the stitching lines in your jeans that runs from top to the bottom. This cracks follows the same path as the road. Transverse cracks. Transverse cracking is the fourth type of cracking we are discussing here, that looks like the cracks that runs across the road from one side to another, horizontal in the sense. This happens or caused due to the temperature changes. The road expands in heat and shrinks in cold, leading to cracks. For example, we can imagine this like imagine bending a plastic scale in cold weather. It might snap across its width. Okay. Pavement distresses because of rutting and distortion. Here we can see when roads are used a lot or are not built properly, they can change shape or sink in a places, as we have discussed earlier. These changes are called rutting and distortion. First we'll say about rutting. What is rutting or how it looks like? It is long, shallow depression along the path where the tires of vehicles usually move. When it happens, It happens when heavy vehicles like trucks push down the pavement over the time, or the layers under the road might not be strong or compacted properly. That's why the rutting happens. Here we can imagine the example like this. Imagine dragging a heavy suitcase on a soft carpet again and again. It will create a deep crack, as we can see in the image over here. That's what rutting looks like. Why it's bad? It's very bad in rainy season mostly. Like water can collect in the ruts and it can cause the drivers to lose controls. If the water is collected in such cracks, then those cracks are not visible. But when vehicles move over it, it feels and it may damage the vehicles as well. Second is distortion. Distortion are the changes in the shape of the road surface. That is are of two types: showing and swelling. Showing means showing looks like a wave or a bump across the road, like the road has been pushed against something. It happens when vehicles brake suddenly or accelerates quickly. The surface gets pushed side away, like this, slipping away. Example, like pushing your hand forward on a soft rubber mat. Swelling. Swelling looks like a raised bump or a blunch on the road. It happens when water under the road freezes or swells, lifting the pavement. For example, like a bread rising in the oven, the surface lifts unevenly. Okay. Pavement distresses due to the surface defects. Surface surface defects, here we have mention of three types: raveling, bleeding and other defects. We'll discuss them also here. The losses of the surface aggregate caused by blinder failure, commonly due to the poor mix design or aging asphalts. Like if the damaged asphalt or bitumen is used, the road will be not of the desired quality or uh, desired strength which we have discussed or which is needed for those application. Failing in using good quality materials will lead to raveling. Bleeding. Excess asphalt blinder rises to the surface, creating a slick, shiny layer that reduces the transaction. This often results from too much asphalt in the mix or high temperature. See, using the asphalt in high quantity will also lead to the bad binding between the particles, and that will also hamper the quality of the materials, and therefore it will lead to the bleeding. Like when in a concrete mix high water is added, which leads to bleeding. Same way, in place of water we are using bitumen over here, that leads to the same way. Other defects: polishing the smooth aggregate surfaces, reducing the friction, causes the aggregate separation from the binder. These are some other effects in this. Causes of pavement distresses of the highways. Here we are on the slide number 6 and we are discussing about the causes of the pavement distresses of the highway. First is the traffic loading. This happens when the heavy vehicles like trucks and buses passes over the road again and again. This puts a lot of pressure on the road. What causes it? Like fatigue crackings, like alligator cracking, rutting, long dents in the vehicle paths. Worse, this is very worse case we are discussing here. It's very worse when vehicles are overloaded. That is very tough time for the road to deal with. Example, if you keep pressing on a sponge with a heavy book, it will eventually lose its shape and break. That's what heavy traffic does to the road. Second one, environmental factors. This happens when the changes in weather like heat, cold and rain affects the road. The causes for it is crack due to expansion and contraction, more damage from freeze-thaw cycles. Example, imagine the pouring water into a glass bottle and freezing it. The ice expands and can crack the bottle. That's how the roads cracks in the cold weather too. Okay, we'll discuss now third point, that is material quality and drainage. This happens if the material used to build the road are of low quality or of poor quality or not mixed properly. The road becomes very weak. The causes for it, the causes this causes the early cracking in the roads, raveling like losing the stones or aggregates from the road, the fast wear out. The road will not sustain for long. It will not bear anything. It will go unsustainable. Classification of maintenance, routine maintenance. Definition of routine maintenance. Here we go. Routine maintenance consists of preventive actions to preserve pavement conditions and functionality, preventing the distresses from worsening. Common activities in routine maintenance are crack sealing to prevent the water intrusion. As we can see in the image, the middle of the road has got the crack and the worker is sealing the cracks. This is very common activity followed nowadays. Path hole patching to restore the surface smoothness. Surface is polished again and again to restore its smoothness. Rough road can damage the tires of the vehicles, eventually reducing the life of the tires and vehicle. Joint sealing and surface treatments like chip seals. Goals is to the aim is to extend the pavement life, improve the ride quality and ensure the highway safety cost effectively. This is the main aim behind the routine maintenance. This is very important nowadays. Classification of periodic maintenance. Rehabilitation activities needed for periodic maintenance. Periodic maintenance involves more extensive repairs like overlays, milling and replacing the asphalt layers, and full depth reconstruction to address major structural failures. Objectives are to restore the structural capacity, correct significant distress, and improve the long-term pavement performance to maximize the service life. Maintenance cycle to be maintained. These activities are rescheduled, interval-based conditions assessments and help to avoid the premature failure of the work. Here we are on the last slide and we are discussing about the importance of highway drainages. This also plays a crucial role in many places as the drainage systems are under the highways that may also cause the pavement failure and distresses. So let's see first one, impact of water. Water weakens base and subgrade materials, causes the pumping of fineness, and leads to the erosion and early pavement failures if not properly managed. Drainage design. Proper cross slopes, well-maintained ditches, culverts, and stormwater systems are essential for effective drainage and pavement longevity. Third one, maintenance benefit. Regular cleaning of drains and repair of erosion damaged reduce maintenance cost for the same for the and also increases the pavement lives and highway safeties. So thank you for watching my video and I think you all have understood what I have explained about the highway pavements, distress and failures. Thank you.